Donald Trump has nominated E.J. Antoni as the new commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. He will replace Erica McIntyre, who Trump fired after his ego was unable to stomach a weaker than expected jobs report on August 1st. Antoni is currently the chief economist at the conservative Heritage Foundation. He's been a longtime critic of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. According to the Wall Street Journal, former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon advocated for Trump to have a MAGA ally like Antoni running this agency. Antoni himself was on Steve Bannon's show calling for McIntyre's firing. Take a listen to the victory lap he took moments after that firing took place.
The president shortly thereafter terminated the head. Put it in perspective. Where are we, sir?
Oh, Steve, I think we're certainly in a better place. And what today demonstrates is just how powerful this show and its audience is, quite frankly, and also the fact that the president is among the audience, clearly, because it was this show that brought the issue to his attention.
The circuit is complete. You're so powerful. Everything's going to be fine. Let's bring into our coverage former Democratic Senator, MSNBC political analyst Claire McCaskill, and Puck News chief political columnist, MSNBC national affairs analyst John Heilman, who's here as well. Claire, John, we've talked a lot about the rising and falling of folks inside the MAGAverse. Largely with Elon Musk's rise came a bit of a dip for Steve Bannon. This one is obviously a win for Steve Bannon, but I wonder, Claire, how far Trump will get if he tries to actually manufacture economic data, if that's part of the plan or if that's part of what this person was brought on to do.
Well, it's going to be hard for this guy to make up numbers. And the last person in charge of this agency had very little ability to have any impact on the numbers whatsoever. It will be very interesting to see whether when this guy, assuming that everybody lays down and confirms him, even though he's not qualified, this is what they do now, Republican senators, they confirm unqualified candidates for important jobs. There's a lot of people that work at BLS that are what we call technocrats. And I just want to take a minute and explain what a technocrat is. I took over the state auditor's office in Missouri, and it was full of technocrats. People who had worked in the office for decades, who knew auditing, who understood government auditing, and had no political bias whatsoever. They were not trying to call anything other than balls and strikes based on the facts and their technical expertise. That's the essence of the BLS. That's what the Bureau of Labor Statistics does. They just analyze the data and then they report that data out. These people are professional, they're qualified, and I don't think most of them will stand by quietly if this guy tries to make stuff up. So I think he'd have a rocky road and he can't fire all the people there because, frankly, the level of expertise, he doesn't even know about the statistics there. He's shown in interviews he's done that he's ignorant about what even is underlying the data they report on. So I think it will be tough. Now, what he's really done is he's removed the faith people have in this agency. That's what he's done by doing this. Who is going to believe whether or not they can rely on this, whether it's public sector or private sector? That's where the real damage is being done.
Well, Axios is reporting that he's actually suggested not issuing a jobs report at all. So that's one way to deal with not being able to overpower the technocrats. John?
Yes, right. I mean, look, there are, I agree with Claire, very hard to cook the books, and I think would be so harmful for Trump's economic policies and so harmful for the markets if any were you're still talking about a big bureaucracy at BLS and a bunch of people who are committed to telling the truth. Certainly, if there was a mandate that came down from the White House to cook the books, that would certainly be leaked and would certainly end up on the pages of the Wall Street Journal and would then send the markets spiraling, et cetera, et cetera. The more likely and equally pernicious things that are going to happen, I think, are first is the new head of the BLS going to have to preview any numbers that are put out with the White House before they put those numbers out? That's the way a chilling effect works in an administration, is to sort of say, well, you guys should do your thing, get the numbers together, but we want to see them over here before they're reported to the public. That immediately puts a lot of pressure on the head of the BLS, puts him in a state of fear, makes him try to figure out ways, if not to concoct fake numbers, to maybe take the edge off of bad numbers, or to in some way undermine those, ask for a review of them. And then there's the question, as you said a second ago, Nicole, which is not putting out numbers at all. I think there's nothing in the Constitution about issuing monthly jobs reports. So, that would have economic consequences also. The markets have come to rely on those numbers, but it's not at all unthinkable that's where we end up.